Hey, y'all, we are back with another edition of the Zero Hour Tim Loy with Jeff Hobbs. Today, we have got Nick Campbell joining us. Nick about to make his Aries debut, actually, in the professional ranks, taking on Chance Gilbride next Friday from the world famous Cotton Eye Joe. Aries 13, November the 11th. Jeff, excited to chop it up with Nick here. He's going to be taking on Chance Gilbride, who has also got an interview up here on the channel, so make sure you check that out when you can. But I'm excited to get Nick in there. He's a guy that I've watched Nick from afar, and this guy is an action man. You watch these Nick Campbell fights, you know he's going to bring it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I haven't had the pleasure of getting to see Nick fight in person, so it's definitely always fun for me to get to see new guys up close and personal. I'm definitely interested, and we'll touch on it. Don't steal it from me, Tim. But later on, that nickname in the background, the Nutshell. I've got to hear more about that. That's a very awesome and unique nickname, and I've got to hear the story behind that. So can't wait.
Nick, appreciate you joining us here. We're about a week out, just a little more than a week out from the fight. I know this is likely your last hard push of training, sparring, stuff like that before you get into cardio and weight mode next week. How you feeling leading up to next Friday?
Man, I feel good. If you're lucky to get into a fight and feel training and hours and hours and days of just fucking beat. But I feel good. I'm gonna train hard all the way up to the fight, probably the day of. So,
Now,
this
Nick, I was during Chance's interview. Actually, I'd mentioned, you're a guy that I've seen you fight. I actually may have matched your very first fight, if not your second fight, and you came into the hometown in Johnson City, knocked off Roman Evans. I remember, and
yeah,
I remember then thinking, man, this guy's tough. He's a gritty one. You're still a little rough around the edges as far as technique goes, but you had that natural warrior to you. You like to fight. I could tell. Since then, you've changed
yeah.
gyms from where you were at that point, and man, you've really come a long way. You've really improved a lot over the last few years. What would you attribute that to?
I would just say, man, uh, coaches, man, I train with some of the best in the world. As far as coaching, and I'm blessed to have that gym is a game changer. My whole career changed at everything. So.
Tell us about some of the coaches there at the gym. Who are some of the main guys that have developed you?
So my head coach, who I consider my head coach, he's my just all around MMA coach, and I got a wrestling coach, a Muay Thai coach, a boxing coach. We got coaches for whatever. He's awesome, and yeah, man, we got a stack coaching staff in there, so the best.
It makes all the difference, man. You take a guy that's got that natural just grit to him, that natural fight in him, and you develop it properly. You get an exciting fighter. Now, if the fans that haven't seen it out there, and I give credit where it's due on other cards. Man, your fight against Gabriel Brown for Showcase back in October of last year. If you haven't seen that fight, folks out there, you need to check it out because it is a fucking war. And I mean, man, you guys beat the shit out of each other. It really showed that tenacity there. Is that one of your favorite fights?
Yeah, it probably ranks up there as one. Just leading up to everything in the fight, the just man, yeah, top favorite fights that I've been in, But I just love to fight, so it's my favorite.
So
I
you got a chance.
get better, fight, win or lose. I get better, so I always go back, and I'm like my biggest fan.
Hey, that's a good thing, man. So you got Chance Gilbride up next week. We spoke to him. He's a known grappling specialist. Hasn't ever been out of the first round with any of his bouts yet. So there's a lot of questions to be answered still as far as how he reacts when things don't just immediately go his way. What are some of the things that you see in him, and some of the things that you obviously you got to watch out for the grappling, but you still seem confident. Every time that we spoke, you've been very confident, and there's some intangibles in this fight. For one being, like, you're definitely the bigger guy. Like, I've been around both you guys, and you're a considerably bigger guy. So you got a size advantage. You got the advantage in that you've had a pro fight already, and kind of experienced that. The knees, the elbows, all those extra things that go along with it. Tell us why you think this is this is your fight. You're coming in here to knock off a guy that's never been beaten.
Well, really, I mean, I don't know much about him, two fighter, and that's cool, and I'll respect his game, and in jiu-jitsu every day too, and I roll with the best jiu-jitsu practitioners in jiu-jitsu is part of my game, and I can fight on the ground, I can fight standing up, I got a wrestling background, I wrestle every day too, so it's not all respect to him and whatever he brings, he's I don't think it's gonna just all the way around. Stand up, we go to the ground, and I'm gonna be the way. So, but all respect, to his jiu-jitsu skills and stuff,
Jet.
Yeah, well, I got to get to it, man. Explain to me the nickname. How did that come about, and what is the story behind that?
So it's actually I don't know if you know the rock band Alice in Chains nutshell. So that's I really tied
from
to
our
that
era.
song, and
Yes, it's definitely from my era. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I love that song, and that's that's my fight name right there, the nutshell.
So is that then obviously your go-to walkout song?
No.
No.
I try
Okay.
to I like to come out to something different every time. I'm an entertainer too. So my setting is I'm gonna try to pump the crowd up and let them feel my aggression or whatever. I'm a crowd person too. So
well, we're putting you in the right setting, Nick, because the Cotton Eye Joe, it can get it's fun with the right personality in the cage that like you said is a showman and plays up and gets the crowd involved. They will latch on to it and they will get behind it and they will join right along with you. So I think we've got you in the right setting. I trust Tim's opinion of people and fights, and it sounds like you got a lot of violence in you, and so does Chance as well. So this could be a damn entertaining and violent fight coming up next Friday.
Yeah, if the dude ain't good, then I don't want to fight him. If he ain't dangerous, put him in front of me, because if you put a tomato can in front of me, man, I know I'm gonna hurt. An easy fight, and I want to fight. I like to, and I think that's gonna be. I don't think he's ever fought somebody who's gonna get in there, and even if he smile at him and let him know that, hey, this is what I like to do. I like to get hit, and I like to fight. So different for him, I know. It's different for every fight.
Yeah, the Joe reminds me a lot sometimes. Go ahead.
They clock me, and I don't know. It makes me like a party challenge for him.
Yeah, the Joe reminds me a lot sometimes. If you remember Gladiator, with Russell Crowe, it reminds me of the Coliseum. The more they're entertained, they don't have to be there for one fighter or another. The more violent it is, the more they're entertained, and the more they feed into the whole fight atmosphere. So I definitely think this is the perfect fight for this venue. I don't think this was going to be a good fight no matter where it's at. I don't think it would do the same justice anywhere else but the Cotton Eye Joe.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited, man.
Definitely excited to have you, Nick, man. We'll be seeing you in person next week. I'm going to let you give some shout-outs where they are due. Friends, family, training partner, sponsor, love. I'll let you give it to them right here. And look forward to seeing you next week, my man.
Yeah, man. My team, the UFC gym of Greenville, my coach, Cody Freeland, David Close, Brian Harper, there, all my teammates, Alex Ilium, Tremaine Davenport. Just if they watch this video, they're going to know who they are, and I don't have to go into detail, and they know that and my family. And yeah, but shout out to Aquacharge, my main sponsor. Yeah, right now that's what we're rocking with. So
this has been Nick Campbell. You can catch him at the Cotton Eye Joe, Aries 13, next Friday, November the 11th, taking on Chance Gilbride. It's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe we'll get you some more sponsors after this one, Nick. You put on a show out there. That's what it's all about. Hey, you get your tickets at fightertickswiththenext.com. Make sure you select Nick from the drop-down menu. And then, of course, the pay-per-view Expectation Sports. Nick, thanks so much for the time, brother. We'll see you next week.
thank y'all. Have a good one.
Thanks, my man. Yes, sir.